It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and I believe New York, New York. And this is CarEdge Live for Friday, September 27th, with your host, me, Ray. Yes, I am wearing a collared shirt because we have guests today. And, well, the good-looking guy in a T-shirt, Zach. How are you this morning, handsome?
I'm doing great, Dad. Happy Friday. It's a beautiful day here in Brooklyn, New York. But, Dad, I am so excited today, in part because of the nice weather, but because we get to bring in some experts from the CarEdge team. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Ryan Daly and Josh Ramsey. And, Dad, I'm going to pull myself down. I'm not up on the top here. We'll put Ryan up there. Ryan, Josh, thanks for taking some time to join us today. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, Zach.
Ryan, let's start with you. What do you do at CarEdge? What's your background? We'll do some brief introductions for you and then for Josh. And then we've got deals we're breaking down today. That's today's show. Is we're breaking down deals. We're taking questions from the community. We're going to try and help as much as we can. But Ryan, talk about your background. Talk about how you ended up here at CarEdge. And Josh will do the same and go from there.
Sure. I'm Ryan Daly. I'm the head of Concierge and Dealer Relations here at CarEdge. My background, I have a long history in the car business. I was most recently a general manager in Arizona for an auto group there. And we sold in April of 2023. My wife said, "You're no longer allowed to be a car guy." And so I had to figure something else out. I've watched you and Ray for a long time. I reached out and it's been a blast so far, about 3 months in for me. So
appreciate you being here, Ryan. That sounds similar to your story, Dad, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it does.
Josh, what's your background? How did we cross paths, and what are you up to now here at CarEdge?
I can resonate with Ryan. The hours in the business are very tough. But joined CarEdge roughly a year ago. Was excited to be part of the team. As a dealer for roughly the last 8 years, I've been in the business for, going on 3 decades. But as a dealer, our insignia on our sign is "Let us find your dream vehicles." So couldn't believe I could be part of such a scale that you guys have created. And quite frankly, that's why I joined the team, and I've been helping customers ever since. I really enjoy the process, and I really enjoy watching us grow to help more folks every day.
That's awesome, guys. And then before I hand it over to you, Pops, I just want to let everyone know over on the main CarEdge channel at 4 p.m. Eastern time, we've got a video of Josh doing live negotiations for one of his customers. So stay tuned for that. That'll be dropping in just a few hours here. It's a little bit of a tease, but it's definitely worth the watch. Dad, we've got deals that we're going to review. Josh was working on one for an Acadia. Where do you want to start, Pops?
Well, Josh, please, why don't we start with the Acadia deal so that you can share with the folks what type of deals, in some cases, you are able to find for the customers that contract for our services.
You bet. This started off as what I would consider an easy deal. The dealer was very communicative. I got the general sales manager on the phone immediately, which I try to do, just to make some great communications and kind of cut to the pace. He shared with me a verbal out the door, which was a very good deal. Quite frankly, I expected this dealer to have some hidden fees, and they didn't. So I was excited. The next call took, as we'll find out soon, a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of communication between folks that couldn't help. So after that time spent, we finally got in writing the information we needed and spent roughly another day getting them the deposit. This deal should happen today. The customer should take delivery of this vehicle today. This gentleman works for the DOJ and spends a lot of time on the phone at home, working remote. So he didn't have the time to do what we did for him, which was just basically spend hours on the phone trying to communicate with these folks. But at the end of the day, sharing some other good insight information helped him realize that just because this was not a highly negotiated deal, we were able to represent and find him a good deal. Didn't have any fluff, didn't have any drama. We negated that by taking all of that and absorbing it for him and just helping represent the deal and giving him confidence that he was going to get a good deal.
Josh, can I ask you a silly question before I let Zach jump in?
Go for it, Pops.
When you find yourself helping one of our concierge customers, what would you say is the average amount of time that you probably spend on the phone trying to get a hold of somebody at a dealership?
Well, I'll prephrase that by saying my introduction call with every customer is, "Hey, by the way, you can text me. It's really convenient. I spend a lot of time on the phone." And the last thing I want to do is get voicemails piled up and missed calls piled up. Then we're not just doing our job. Then we're letting people leave voicemails. So to answer your question though, Ray, I would say per deal, the average amount of time spent on the phone and this is going to sound crazy, but it's got to be close to 4 hours.
Oh my God.
A lot of time.
Between the dealer and the customers both, and a lot of it's broken up. It could be 5-10 minute conversations, but as you'll see sometimes in this upcoming video, 45 minutes of basically nothing, because, well, they have a third-party service that retains their phone calls, and it sometimes isn't the best option. We'll leave it at that.
I'm going to pull up the MMR screenshot, Josh, and Ryan, feel free to comment on this as well. Like the information that we're able to help someone get. So this was a 2023 GMC Acadia, and you can see here, like, actually walk us through your process, Josh, because ultimately we have the bank contract here. We have the final bill of sale, and you can see that the selling price was $28,894. Help us understand the information that you looked at to know that this 2023 GMC Acadia, you finally got it to the price that was right for this customer. And then Ryan, obviously you spent a ton of time in the industry as well. So help us paint the picture for us, Josh, your process with this particular customer. And then Ryan, more broadly, like what information empowers a customer through this process?
So we're looking at MMR, which is Manheim, the world's largest auto auction. This is a post-sale results based off post-sale results, cars that have recently sold at auction based on the serial number of that vehicle we found the customer. So that's more proof in the pudding than you can ever find. Nobody can argue that number right there. That's based off money being spent on those cars. They say, Manheim says, if you take that Acadia to the auction, it'll bring 28.8. Then, of course, you have the auction fees and reconditioning on top of that. So the dealer should nearly own that car for roughly $30,000 by the time they're ready to put it on the front row. So ultimately, this dealer potentially is losing money to put a deal together, or perhaps have written this vehicle down. But it just signifies that the 28.9 in layman's terms is a smoking deal.
That's pretty awesome.
Indeed.
That's really awesome.
The customer got it at a wholesale without a wholesaler's license. That's fantastic.
So let's talk about that for a second. Why would a dealer be doing that, right? Like we do all the prognosticating videos here, right? And you guys are in the weeds every day working with the customers. Are dealers just at a point where, certain vehicles, certain piece of inventory, Ryan, they gotta flip them, they gotta move them? Or what do you think the rationale is here?
Yeah, it very well could be an old age unit. Could be, we don't know what this dealer has floored. Does he own his used cars? Is he flooring it? Is he paying interest on this car? So a lot of times, and like Josh alluded to, it could be a hard write down as well. After on my lots, anything over 60 days would hit a hard write down all the way down to books. So
Ryan, could you do me a favor and
Sure.
the audience a favor? Explain what a write down is.
Now you know how I feel sometimes, Dad. Now you know. There it is. Thank you.
Well, yeah.
Sure. So I would make all my general sales managers pull the book values on all their used cars, send them to me, and we would write them down to whatever that book value was. Basically, it's hitting the gross profit line for that particular month. That's where we're drawing the funds from to write these vehicles down.
Wow.
At the end of the day, when we have all this negative equity on the lot, we call it water. We try our best not to have too much water on our lot. We turn assets into liabilities, and that's certainly not what dealers are trying to do.
So in essence, what you're saying, if I may, is let's say for a second that dealer actually originally owned that vehicle for around 30 grand. And it had been sitting on his lot, and he realized just because they had 30 grand in it doesn't mean it's still worth 30 grand.
Exactly.
And so they wrote the value of the vehicle down to a point where they could sell it at a retail price, and they absorbed whatever loss that was internally.
Absolutely. And the problem with that, if dealers don't write down these vehicles, salespeople know what dealers own vehicles for, and they'll keep selling around them.
Yes.
And so it's a double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, customers make out on those kind of vehicles, and those are the kind of vehicles that Josh knows to go hunting for. So
is that what happened here, Josh? What was your read on the room? How'd you make this happen?
That's exactly it. Ryan hit the nail on the head. It's, I use MMR to justify to a customer sometimes, it's my job to find the deal, whether it's negotiating that deal or finding that deal laying in the hay. If, there is the needle in the haystack out there sometimes. And with the right tools and just years of industry knowledge, I'm able to source those for clients. And that isn't always the case. Sometimes we have to beat the dealers up and try to get that negotiated deal put together. But at the end of the day, having the confidence instilled in the customer so that they know walking out the door, they got a deal is what our goal is.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And just to make everyone aware, for those of you that are unfamiliar, if you head back to CarEdge.com, up in the top navigation, or even right here, you can just click on buying service. We have the buy a car option for buying and leasing. You can work with our team to get started. Is very, very, very simple. Just let us know what you're interested in, and then we'll get to work on your behalf. It's really awesome to hear these stories. We've got another deal. We'll do one more that we kind of queued up, and then we'll go to the chat here. If you have car buying questions, I also have a bunch of emails that were sent to me over the past week or so. Fridays are when we're going to be doing these deal reviews and answering questions. And we will have Josh and Ryan here from the CarEdge team with us today, which we're so happy about. Josh, there was another BMW deal. Do you want to talk about this one a little bit? We've got another used vehicle, a 2024 BMW X5. What happened here? What was your experience like? And yeah, give us the rundown.
Yeah, so this young lady, been a pleasure helping her. We both have learned a lot about the X5, being that she was really unsure of what exact trim she wanted and some colors. So we spent some time sourcing some units and sharing some options with her. We probably went through 6 to 8 different, models at different dealerships just to iron out which was best for her. We settled on a lower mileage unit. This is one unit we negotiated for her. She's still kind of tossed up. We haven't settled 100%. But for example, this unit, we were unable to help her get to the right price on this one. So I wanted to transition to another unit with lower miles so that she could see the value in this. The other unit was roughly $60,000, Zach. So she came back to this unit once again, justifying the price. And I this morning got another $500 off on this dealer. So we got a total discount now of $1,000 off on this unit. So our conversation, I would almost assume this morning is going to be, this is going to be her option she's going to go with. She's saving almost $11,000 over her next closest option.
Wow. So a lot of this is like working with the customers and helping them understand, like, okay, where your budget goes and how far it can go, and then trying to identify options that actually fit into that. And that sounds eerily similar, Dad, to what you've expressed over the years. It's like you actually need to know what you can afford before you go into the dealership. It's some of the same stuff that we end up working with our customers on, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. This has always been the case. And Josh hit the nail on the head there. It is showing availability options, which one makes the most sense economically. I would imagine the one that was like 60 grand maybe had 20,000 miles on it instead of 31. And, is it worth saving 11 grand to have 11,000 more miles? I would think more than likely it probably is. That represents a better value. And quite honestly, with that money that you saved, if it makes you feel even better, you can take some of that savings and put it towards an extended warranty for further coverage on the vehicle to feel a little bit better about it.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Do you guys mind if we jump to one of the questions I got in my email? And then Ryan and Josh, I know you guys are busy at work today, so I won't keep you for the whole show, I promise. But do you mind if we go there?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And then again, if you have questions and comments, leave them in the chat. We will jump there in a second. So we've got here, this came from Alex. Alex is asking a question about pre-purchase inspections for out-of-state vehicles. Let me read this out. We'll have the three of you help Alex out. Hi, Zach. I'm looking into purchasing a vehicle from out of state as it seems to get a better deal and starting asking price, and I have expanded beyond my local area. For a new vehicle, this wouldn't be a big issue, but I'm looking at a 2 to 3 year old used vehicle. And I definitely want to get a pre-purchase inspection. That's what PPI stands for on the vehicle, especially if it's not a certified pre-owned vehicle. If it was local, I would request to be able to take the car to my local mechanic and inspect it. However, this doesn't work out for some state vehicles. Out-of-state vehicles, or those on the other side of my state. Do you guys typically keep a list of pre-purchase inspection providers that CarEdge members can use as part of the CarEdge Concierge service? Ideally, it would be awesome to have something similar to dealer feedback for pre-purchase inspections, some sort of list to go by. So kudos to Alex. Alex is up on their A game, knowing to get a pre-purchase inspection. But Josh, why don't we start with you? Talk about the need for the pre-purchase inspection, and then how do you handle this for your customers?
Yeah, excellent. I could tell Alex has been reading on our website a little bit. He's a pretty educated buyer. The certified thing, he hit the nail on the head. They already have the inspection report for you. You can utilize that, taking it to the local mechanic. You know, if you're going to go for a test drive, take that hot rod to the local muffler shop, brake shop. Tell them you want a pre-purchase inspection. 90% of the time, they'll get you right in, charge you $150, give a report, tell you what's going on with the car. And then you've got a little third-party confidence. If it's remote, we do have some great resources. I think we put together kind of a one-on-one program with Lemon Squad so that they can go out and do their inspections. And those guys are prompt. Sometimes it surprised me how quick we get a report back, but it kind of takes the liability off of us and the dealer too. You know, it puts it on somebody else's shoulders. So it's a great thing. We highly encourage it at CarEdge, and Lemon Squad, local shops, the certified thing are three great ways to kind of have an inspection in your back pocket.
I imagine you feel similarly, Ryan.
Absolutely. I would not buy a vehicle without a used vehicle without a pre-purchase inspection. Even if I'm standing on the lot. I mean, if it's a local dealer and I'm there, I was a fixed ops director for 3 years. I still wouldn't do it.
That tells you everything you need to know. When people in the industry say, if I were to purchase a pre-owned car, I want to get a pre-purchase inspection done personally. Tells you everything you need to know.
What about some of those Jeeps that have been sitting, the new ones, for 3 years? He's getting a PPI on that, Ryan?
Yeah, and actually Stellantis now, they have a pre-delivery process now where the battery's tested, some things are tested in service. Here's the unfortunate thing about that, though. Everybody in the car business knows your technicians are typically the first ones to go home. Sales stays a little later. So I wouldn't trust that either.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's do another one with the whole crew here, and then Ryan and Josh will let you off with the rest of your day. And again, want to remind everyone, Josh has a video dropping on the main CarEdge channel later today, and Josh is one of the team members on the Concierge team, helping thousands of CarEdge customers every year, part of that team. So great video coming out later today showing the experience, what Josh goes through on your behalf. Please, please, please go give that a watch. We had this question come in from Cody. Good morning, Zach. I am looking to buy a 2021 to 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew Cab with 4x4. I currently have a 2013 F-150 that needs some engine and transmission work. I've been looking all around Arizona because I am from Queen Creek, but I am active duty and stationed at the Marine Corps Air Station in Yuma. I have found a few F-150s around 40,000 miles and below for around $33,000 to $42,000. This seems high considering the MSRPs of these trucks were in the high 40s just a few years ago. My plan is to get pre-approved at my credit union for $30,000, use my truck as a trade-in, and anything extra would be cash if I have to. I'm looking to purchase at the end of the year. Any advice would be great. I watch your show with Pops, Ray, every day and really enjoy the insight on the market you guys present. Thank you for your time. So I'll start with you, Josh. If a customer came in and they gave you this type of overview, how are you thinking about that situation? How would you be? I know Cody's asking for his own advice, but how would you approach this on Cody's behalf? Because I think that'll be useful for him to hear.
His truck having some transmission issues is going to be the biggest elephant in the room. There's a couple different ways I would handle that. I think the easiest way is probably to transition that to someone like CarMax so that the dealer does not take advantage of that situation and try to lowball him on his trade. As we've learned, the trade-in can be just as a negotiation process as the purchase of the vehicle. So that's the one that stands out most to me. I would recommend that he tries to, work on that trade-in and get some offers on a Carvana and just be transparent with it. That way he knows going up front, this is the number I can expect. And if he does find a vehicle at a dealership, that way he can say, hey, this is the number I can get at CarMax. Let's try to work together on this. And a lot of times I think Ryan can say dealers will match CarMax's offers. And some dealers are even set up with CarMax directly to take that trade and transition it to them. But that would be my first recommendation. And then secondly, of course, going down the path with his credit union and getting his pre-approval, knowing his interest rates, having that in his back pocket for going forward as well.
So a lot of good pieces there from that community member. Like, Cody's actually thinking about things, I think, in a really good way. But I hear you loud and clear. The bigger negotiation might actually be on the trade-in than on the used. I am curious, though, Pops, your take, new versus used here. Like, we're talking about, there's not a lot of Ford F-150s that are going to be the spec that he was mentioning. at the price point that he's in, but still we're not too far off. Maybe like a $10,000 spread. I don't know. I'm just contemplating that.
Yeah, but if literally he has $30,000 plus the trade,
True.
plus a little bit of cash, realistically, we have to stay in and on a pre-owned. You're just not going to be able to get a brand new one that'll be close enough that it could make sense financially on his monthly payments. So sometimes you have to take that into consideration.
Good point. Good point. Let's get one more here, actually, from the chat. We've got from Jacob, about to deploy. Thanks for your service, Jacob. How would you feel about buying 2 new vehicles before or after the deployment? Wanting a third row SUV and a midsize truck, ideally both vehicles with vented seats. There are hot Missouri summers. This is an interesting one. And obviously, if we can help Jacob, especially being in the military, that would feel really good. But how do you guys think about this? My gut is you do it after you get back, but I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah, I see Ryan, you nod in your head. What do you think?
We're all in agreement with that.
Yeah, you don't want to absorb somebody else's lot rot while you're on deployment. So, I live here in Colorado, and we have here just a ton of rodent damage that happens, especially over the summertime and over even in the wintertime. It wouldn't make sense to me, Jacob, to buy any cars and then go on deployment unless somebody's going to be using them and maintaining them while you're gone.
Perfect.
You're nodding your head too, Josh.
I agree 100%. Paying insurance and having to keep up on registration. And Ryan hit the nail on the head. Jacob, lot rot is something fierce. You could come back to some issues you don't even want to deal with.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, final question for you two, Ryan and Josh. Ray, I guess it's to Pops, but it's going to you guys as well. I'd like to know how the process begins with the customer reaching out to CarEdge for your concierge services before the dealing process with the dealership begins. Does that make sense? So I'll be very, very transparent. You can go on the website. You can go through our essentially like an interest form. And then once you place your deposit, let's talk about what happens after that. I'm pretty sure, Josh, you made it clear you like to text with your customers. So talk to us a little bit about like before you actually go to battle on behalf of a customer, what's going on there? What are you and the customer doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I think a lot of people have that in mind. What is the first step? How do we get started? Right. So the best way to answer that question is we have a new process where you can do exactly what we're doing. We can have an interaction meeting and get to know each other a little better that way. Or if it's as simple as just a phone call. Normally they take 20 to 30 minutes. I like to go over who I am. We like to understand your goals as to why you've hired us at CarEdge so that we can best help you. I always ask if there's been any recent objections so that I can have those on the table and be very aware of that. But most importantly, it's about understanding the customer's goals going forward, understanding what we're here to do to help them. And I always enforce 2 words that are important. I discuss them every deal. It's trust and communication. Those are important to me, and they're very important to the customer as well. So if we can keep those 2 words at the forefront and going forward, everything stays really clean and consistent.
That's awesome. Is there anything you want to add to that, Ryan? Like your expectations, your objectives when working with the team?
Yeah, I tell the concierge and I tell customers all the time, you wouldn't go to court without an attorney. Don't step on a lot without us. We have the wherewithal and the knowledge to help you through this very sometimes convoluted process. There are some really great dealers out there that do things the right way. Our dealer relations team are reaching out to them every day. But there are also some dealers you probably might want to avoid. So we work in this industry every day, and we kind of know who those dealers are as well. So
Ryan, I was going to say, Ryan, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
What would you say is approximately the average industry experience of our concierges? Because most of them have worked in the industry.
Yes, sir. I would say on average 15 plus years.
Wow.
On average.
I think that probably comes in handy.
And they've done everything from sales to finance manager to sales manager. They know how to look at a buyer's order. They know how to look at a contract. They know how to look at a proposal. They can dissect it. They understand the fees that are appropriate. They understand the dock fees in certain areas. They're every one of them. Josh and Jerry and all of our great concierges are just a wealth of knowledge, and it's great to go in with an ally when you go to battle like that, as Zach would say. So,
love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, well, Josh, Ryan, thank you for taking time out of your busy Friday schedule. Enjoy the upcoming weekend. Thank you for all that you do for our community. And again, folks, if you're interested in working with our team, CarEdge.com, and then it's under buy a car, or you can just go to CarEdge.com/concierge. Thank you, gentlemen. Hope to see you back here maybe in another week or two. Dad, thank you for making this happen.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on. I really enjoyed it.
See you guys.
Have a good day.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that. We pulled it off. It makes so much sense to have them come on to the show.
That was all Pops. Pops made that happen. So thank you, Dad, for coordinating that, and thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Josh, for taking the time out of your day to do that with us. And again, I'm going to keep plugging it because I love the service. Just go to CarEdge.com, click on either buy a car up here and go under buy or lease, or you can click on buying service right there. Click on learn more. Learn more about our car buying service and let our team do the heavy lifting for you. It's really, really awesome what they're capable of doing. Going to come here to the chat real quick. Core guy, how does one become a CarEdge concierge? Thank you for the kind contribution. I don't think we're hiring right now. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think we're hiring at the moment. But I do think if you go to CarEdge.com/about and then scroll to the bottom, I think that's where the link is to apply and let us know that you're interested in joining the team. But I don't think we're hiring at the moment. I could be wrong though. Don't get on me too much.
You're just the CEO. That doesn't mean you know everything that's going on.
I certainly do not know everything that's going on. Dad, do you want to do one more from the community and then we'll call it a day?
Or as many as you'd like.
Well, my only issue is I'm up here in New York because I have a triathlon tomorrow, which I need to give a quick shout out, Dad. One of our community members actually got in touch with me named Riley. Riley works for a company called Win. Win, Dad, actually is an online store where you can purchase cycling, triathlon, running gear.
Wow.
Dad, Riley is so generous. He's a huge fan of our show. He has mailed one overnight to where I'm staying so that I can use it tomorrow for my race. So thank you to Riley. Thank you to Win. If anyone in our community is into cycling or triathlon or running, it's Win, W-I-N, Republic, R-E-P-U-B-L-P. Oh, geez. All right, I'm just putting it on the screen. That had hope. And then it went south. I'm putting it on the chat right now. If you're interested, go check out winrepublic.com. I thought it was incredibly generous of Riley to send that to me. There you go. There it is.
W-Y-N.
Yeah, so I butchered the whole thing.
Okay, perfect.
But I tried.
Yeah, no, it was, and that was very nice of Riley.
It was incredibly kind. Kind. Yeah, doing another 70.3, done for the year after that one. But we've got to get out of New York City and beat the traffic to get to Jones Beach. From Cyan, Dad, good time to buy a new RAV4. Let me pull it up on the screen here. We've got, appreciate the content you and your dad put out there for the car community. My background, I'm based in San Diego and in the market to upgrade my car. I've saved up $6,000 as a down payment, and my current car is a 2007 Nissan Xterra with 166,000 miles. It's probably worth $3,000 to $4,000. CarEdge.com/sell, see what it's worth there. My question, given the current state of the car market, is it a good time to finance a new 2024 RAV4? Based on your recent videos, it seems like these SUVs are in high demand, have one of the lowest days on lot averages, and Toyota doesn't have really competitive APR deals as some of the other manufacturers. What do you think? I'm really trying to get my monthly payment down to $400 for 60 months. What are you thinking, Pops?
Well, I'm thinking 400 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So that would be 24,000 if you could even get 0% interest, and which you can on a RAV4 at the moment. So let's say $400 a month for 60 months buys you maybe $17,500, maybe 18 grand, and if your truck is worth on the high side 18 and 4 is 22, and your 6 is 28. I believe we're still a long way off from being able to get that brand new RAV4. So you might want to be looking at some pre-owned ones, or you might want to wait a little longer.
There you have it. Nicely done, Pops. Cool. Happy Friday.
The same to you, young man.
If we can help you out with anything, folks, the website is caredge.com. Please subscribe to the channel here. Josh's video drops in 3.5 hours over on the main YouTube channel. Dad, do you have any exciting weekend plans?
Yeah, I'm catching a train, 2 trains on Sunday. The 10:31 local from Atlantic City to Philadelphia.
Did you say 2 chains or 2 trains?
2 trains.
Okay.
Yeah. What's chains?
You don't know 2 Chainz, the rapper?
I
You don't know
know
2 Chainz, the rapper? Are you serious?
I know Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty's good too and all. I know you're a huge Lil Yachty fan, but you don't know 2 Chainz, the rapper, this guy?
I must admit, I am entirely unfamiliar with 2 Chainz.
He's very
but
tall.
perhaps
He's very
perhaps
tall,
2
man.
Chainz, 2 Chainz will be on either one of my 2 trains, and so we could be doing 2 Chainz on 2 trains on Sunday. Okay, but yes, I think I get into DC around 2:16 in the afternoon, and then I'll go over to the hotel and get checked in and maybe actually show up at your place.
So, Dad, I have I'm at my coworker Adam's house. You can
Yes, those are his twins behind you. Yeah,
there's a delay in the live stream. He just busted out laughing so loud.
What, over 2 Chainz on 2 trains?
All right, folks, enjoy your weekend. Have
Could
some
be a whole
fun.
new group.
We'll be back on Monday with more CarEdge Live. I love you, Dad. Thanks for everything.
I love you too. Good luck tomorrow, handsome.
Thanks. I'll send you my bib number so you can track me.
Yeah. I've got the app on my phone.
I feel good. I'm gonna try and set a personal best. That's the goal.
Well, I feel good. I'm gonna root as hard as I can for you.
Love you, Dad.